Hello YouTube, Freddie Cardona here. Welcome back to another episode of Driving and the News. Today is Monday, November 28th, 2022, the weekend, the Monday after the Thanksgiving weekend. And I hope you guys had an amazing weekend and an amazing Thanksgiving. And let's get right into the news.
You're loaded up both ways on the southern by Wanta Avenue. Westbound northern, that's jammed into the Wanta Parkway. Westbound LIE is stop and go into the Seafood Bay Expressway and again at Glen Cove Road. This report is sponsored by Ramsey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. I'm Sue Aller. Next report at 8:01, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
The Black Friday sales event is going on right now at Ramsey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. That means huge savings on a new Jeep and Ram truck of your choice. But hurry, our inventory is selling fast. Ramsey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Exceptional people, exceptional deals.
Now, the AccuWeather 4-day forecast with meteorologist Dean DeVore.
A little breezy and mild out there this morning. Temperatures are still batting around the low to mid 50s. There is going to be a wind direction change and a push downward on those temperatures. And with the winds getting a little blustery at times again this afternoon, we're looking at those AccuWeather real feels to fall back for the late afternoon and evening commute, especially once that sun goes down quickly this evening. We see those real feels falling into the 40s and 30s. The wind eases off tonight. We'll be in the 30s when we wake up tomorrow, and then seasonably chilly, mid to upper 40s tomorrow afternoon. Now, Wednesday, keep an eye and an ear here to 1010 winds because we've got a lot going on. Late in the afternoon into the evening could be some heavy rain pockets. We're hoping that's easing out by the Rockefeller Christmas tree lighting, but we have some wind issues going on late in the afternoon and evening that I'll have to keep an eye on. And then blustery and colder feeling on Thursday. AccuWeather real feel staying mainly in the 20s. Right now it's 54. We'll end up closer to 50 by the end of the day. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore, New York's weather station. 1010 winds on 92.3 FM.
So they're calling him the baby whisperer, and no wonder. A Suffolk County police sergeant delivered his 5th baby in 5 years on Saturday. Sergeant John Eric Negron, one of several Suffolk officers who came to Rebecca Reyes Shirley home shortly after she went into labor. Reyes initially thought it was a false alarm. When the officers got there, she realized she wasn't going to make it to the hospital, so they turned the living room into a delivery room, bring baby Owen into the world, and he and Mom are fine. Newsday asked Negron if he thinks his 5th delivery will be the last. He says it's getting crazy, and he wouldn't be surprised if it happened again. Rough night for the Knicks, but better for the Nets. 1010 wins Mark Renee with that.
Yeah, Kathleen, the Garden guys lost to the visiting Grizzlies, 127-123. Jalen Brunson did have a game-high 30 points for Tom Thibodeau's team, but he missed a couple of close-in chances the final 10 seconds that could have changed the outcome.
Take your shot, you know. That's his bread and butter. Got to where he wanted to be. Got a good shot up. We missed.
And fell to 9-11 on the season. The Brooklyn Bunch 10-11 after they beat the Blazers. Seth Curry had 29 points off the bench, including 7 threes.
When you get open shots early in the game, you see a couple go through, everything else kind of feels good too.
Curry on yes following the 111-97 Barclays Center win. Mark Renee, 1010 wins sports on 92.3 FM.
Coming up, why that college degree may not be worth as much as it used to be. 1010 wins news time, 7:55.
You know the power will go out sometime this winter. Your lights, heat, refrigerator, all gone. You can't even charge your cell phone. There's one fail-safe way to prevent that. A Generac automatic standby generator installed by the experts at nynjgenerators.com. After sensing a power outage, a Generac automatically restores your home's power. Go to nynjgenerators.com now to get a quote for a Generac home generator. That's nynjgenerators.com.
This holiday at Metro by T-Mobile, get a free 5G tablet for the whole family. Wait, is that Luis Fonsi? Free 5G tablet after rebate with unlimited HD when you add a tablet line for only $30. Only at Metro. If congested, customers using greater than 35 gigabytes per month may notice reduced speeds plus tax via rebate on virtual prepaid MasterCard after third monthly payment. See store for details.
Wins news time 7:56. Now Bloomberg Money Watch, sponsored by nynjgenerators.com. All right, Steve Potus, why did I waste 4 years of my life?
The very question I've been mulling myself here, Kathleen, because the tight labor market has many employers rethinking the need for a college diploma as they struggle to fill some of their best-paying jobs. According to the Wall Street Journal, Google, Delta Airlines, and IBM have shifted hiring to focus more on skills and experience. Now, according to the Burning Glass Institute, job postings requiring at least a bachelor's degree were 41% this month. That is down from 46% at the start of 2019. And the tight labor market promises some job security, even if the economy slides into recession. Bloomberg Economics projects global unemployment will rise by about 3.25 million by 2024. And while that's a lot, it is fewer than the past two global slumps. Stocks may slump as we open the week. S&P futures down 28 points, NASDAQ down 80, Dow in the red 180. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Steve Potisk for 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Winds News Time 7:57.
Now this message. We're here with Michael Barish of Barish and McGarry, lawyers for the 9/11 community. So 21 years after 9/11, incredibly, most of the 500,000 people who were exposed to the deadly toxins still don't know they're entitled to free lifetime health care and compensation. Why do you think they haven't enrolled?
Two reasons. First, many non-responders tell me that they didn't realize that no matter their family history, nearly every cancer has been linked to the exposure to the World Trade Center toxins. Second, many of them feel guilty and they don't want to take from others who have died. Thankfully, you won't be taking money from anyone since the Victim Fund and the health program have been fully funded by Congress. Susan, millions of dollars remain unclaimed. It's so important that you register. 68 cancers have been linked to the toxins. Remember, 9/11 didn't end on 9/11.
Contact Barish and McGarry today at 911awards.com. That's 911awards with an S.com.
Dear Calvary Hospital, no parent should ever have to go through the heartbreak of the death of a child. When my son Warren's inoperable cancer gave him just months to live, Calvary came into our lives and relieved his physical pain and my emotional stress. You allowed me to be his mom one last time, and also to keep my promise to him to never leave his side, which during a pandemic was nothing less than a miracle. There is no other place that could have ever done this. God knows there is no other place like Calvary Hospital. Sincerely, Pamela Jones Bryce.
This is Frank Calamari, president of Calvary Hospital, where life continues. Call us at 718-518-2000 or visit calvaryhospital.org. Thank you.
WINS, WINS-FM and HD1 New York. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Checking 1010 Winds AccuWeather, 54 degrees, partly cloudy, going up to 55 in Midtown before temperatures drop. Going to be blustery and chilly tonight. More people get their news from 1010 Winds than from any other radio station in the nation. Sharon Barnes-Waters is our service aide. Eileen LaPalmer, our writer. Justin Schrager, the editor. I'm Kathleen Marple-Cal.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds at 92.3 FM, New York.
Good morning, 54 and partly cloudy at 8 o'clock. I'm Glenn Schuck, and here's what's happening. A man was shot and killed in Chelsea last night. An update from the scene from our Carol Dioria is on the way. Darius Razzia speaks with students at NYU. There's been a series of trespass intruder incidents at dorms there in the last 2 weeks. A Bronx mother has now been charged with murder after stabbing her 2 young boys over the weekend. We'll tell you why Iran thinks the United States should be kicked out of the World Cup. A lawsuit over mac and cheese. We'll explain what's going on there. In sports, Jets got a win. So did the Nets, but the Knicks lost. AccuWeather sunshine now, windy, high 55, pretty much where we're at right now, but then temperatures dropping this afternoon and dropping back to 36 overnight here in the city, 30 in the suburbs. Wednesday news time 8:01. Let's get to the update here. Traffic and transit once again. Let's bring in Sue Allen.
Glenn, we are still jammed in the Bronx on the southbound side of the Major Deegan Expressway at the Cross Bronx Expressway with a broken down tractor trailer on that ramp. And this report is sponsored by Jack Pocket. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Over 30 to the upper level at the inbound George, 25 to 30 to the lower level. A solid 45-minute wait at both the inbound Lincoln and Holland tunnels. Now in New Jersey, eastbound 78 in the local lanes by exit 56 in Elizabeth, you got a collision. and the left lane is blocked. And then there's a breakdown on the westbound side of 280 right by exit 7, and that takes out the center lane. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big 3. Loaded up on the southern both ways by Wantagh Avenue. The northern westbound slows down into the Wantagh Parkway, and the LIE stop and go westbound by the Seapotosa Bay Expressway, and again as you approach Glen Cove Road. And now this message: Jackpocket lets you play official state lottery games on your phone. Use code radio for a free Mega Millions or Powerball ticket. Must be 18 or older to play. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Please visit jackpocket.com/TOS for full terms of service. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the ones, and breaking traffic alerts whenever they happen. I'm Sue Allard, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Wins News Time 8:02. A man is dead after being shot in the head in Chelsea last night. Our Carol Dioria joins us now for an update.
17th Street in front of the Fulton Houses in Chelsea is still closed to traffic. That's where a 44-year-old man was found with a bullet in his head. Yellow police tape blocks the street off. It's off the corner of 7th Avenue. And there's still a police vehicle parked here, meaning it's an active police crime scene. The man's name hasn't been made public, and there is no suspect at this time. Details of what led to the shooting are pretty scarce. The police say the man who died had a checkered past himself. He had 16 unsealed arrests going back to 1990. The arrests were mostly for drugs and trespassing. Again, no suspect has been found. Carol Dioria, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM in Chelsea.
Of course, a story we're continuing to follow here at 1010 Wins and 92.3 FM. Students on alert at NYU after a series of dorm trespassing incidents that have been happening.
Not once, but it reportedly happened 4 times this month, where an intruder slipped past security and got into some dorms here. These students tell me they're not surprised.
It's not the first time it's happened, so...
It's not the first time.
No, it happened a couple times last year, I think, yeah.
An NYU spokesperson tells us that they're now reviewing the security at all dorms here and vow to correct mistakes or gaps in coverage. Freshman Ashley Ye says it appeared security was already tight.
They make us scan our ID and stuff and show our valid go when we get in, so it's kind of alarming. They're random people without either of those are able to get in.
NYU says public safety officers are now posted outside all dorm buildings. Darius Radzius, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM at NYU.
Wins News Time 8:04. A Bronx mother has now been charged with murder, 2 counts, for allegedly killing her 2 young sons, 11 months old and a 3-year-old. Found stabbed numerous times, lying under clothes in an overflowing bathtub this weekend. And the father of the children had actually found them in the bathtub after Diamond Fleming was taken to the hospital for that psych evaluation. This all happening a Saturday night inside an apartment at this family shelter on Echo Place. Again, 2 charges of murder have been filed. An arrest this morning in the fatal shooting of a motorist who then crashed his car along the Major Deegan. This was last week. Police are saying 26-year-old Manuel Palma of Riverside Drive shot 29-year-old Raymond Janeo in the back as he was parked right outside of Duncan off of the Deegan. Now, Janeo managed to then drive 2 miles approximately southbound before crashing into parked cars and overturning that car. As a motive for all of this is still investigated, but again, in custody, 26-year-old Manuel Palma. Wins News Time 8:05. Some clouds out there now, actually. 51. We dropped back a bit here. Our high was 54 earlier. We still may move up a bit again to about 55, and then temperatures will fall back, AccuWeather says, to 50 by the end of the afternoon, and much chillier coming in on the overnight. Dean DeVore will lay it out for us coming up, and we'll talk again about the weather, what we're looking at for the tree lighting at Rockefeller Center, which is just 2 days away. Fire doing major damage to Nassau County 2nd Police Precinct. That is in Woodbury, happening late Saturday night. No serious injuries, but several people did have to go to the hospital for some smoke inhalation. They've already been released. Let's hear from the Nassau County Executive, Bruce Blakeman.
At this time, we have made a preliminary assessment of the damage, and we've determined that the building is not salvageable. We will be expediting the construction of a new precinct building.
Now, the cause of the fire not clear yet, although it's not believed to be suspicious. Well, we had some severe weather last night around the country, making things a bit rough at the airports, even around this morning. As of 7 this morning, so we checked in last hour again, still more than 50 delays at JFK, 23 at LaGuardia, and more than a dozen at Newark Liberty. Now, across the country, rain, heavy wind, and snow causing disruptions to as many as 2,500 flights. AAA estimating 55 million people traveled 50 miles or more this past Thanksgiving weekend. A JetBlue flight out of New York City. Some scary moments there. A man now is facing federal charges after allegedly threatening another passenger with a razor.
As millions hit the skies, new concerns after a man allegedly threatened a woman midair with a razor blade. That Utah man, identified as 41-year-old Merrill Darrell Fackrell, later charged with carrying a weapon on an aircraft and assault with a dangerous weapon. Passenger Abe Niederhauser was sitting close by.
They both stand up, and he is grabbing her and has something in his hand.
JetBlue saying crew members de-escalated the situation and then notified law enforcement.
Zareen Shah reporting for us there. WINS News Time 8:07. Learned about this over the weekend. There's a major bird flu outbreak in Nebraska. It has officials taking some pretty serious measures out there. Agricultural officials saying nearly 2 million chickens have to be killed after the bird flu was found at a farm about 100 miles north of Omaha, Nebraska. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is involved, saying more than 52 million birds in 46 different states, in fact, mostly chickens and turkeys on commercial farms, have been slaughtered as part of this year's ongoing bird flu outbreak, and they're trying to somehow stop it. WINS News Time 8:08 with the clouds. We're at 51 now. Drop back a bit here. We'll get some sun again right around 55 before the temperatures will drop. So what's Iran calling for? The United States to be kicked out of the World Cup. This after the United States Soccer Federation changed the Iranian flag on its social media platforms to show support for the government, protesters, and Iran. Now, the Federation posted Iran's national flag without the emblem of the Islamic Republic for 24 hours. They say it's to show solidarity with the demonstrations over the death of a young Iranian woman while in the custody of police. Now, so far, FIFA has not commented on Iran's request to get America out of the World Cup. In the meantime, riots were erupting in several places in connection with the World Cup, including several Belgian and Dutch cities after Morocco 2-0 win over Belgium at the World Cup.
Police had to seal off parts of the city center, deploy water cannons, and fire tear gas to disperse crowds following escalating violence during and after Morocco's unexpected win over the Belgian soccer team. Authorities are reporting at least one person suffered injuries during the riots, which saw people setting steps and bicycles on fire and pelting cars with bricks. Brussels Mayor Philippe Cloze urged soccer fans to avoid the city center and asked officers to detain rioters to maintain order in the streets. I'm Mimi Montgomery.
In neighboring Netherlands, violence in Rotterdam, we learned about. Riot police were hit with glass and other projectiles and fireworks even as they tried to break up a group of 500 soccer fans watching the World Cup. WINS News Time 8:09. Russian forces continuing their assault, very intense, on the eastern and southern parts of Ukraine. It comes as Ukrainian crews have been scrambling to try to get power back to many parts of the country that haven't had it for weeks.
Electricity has been restored to most areas, at least in a limited capacity. And what it means is that the Ukrainians still here in the country get about 4 hours of power each day if they are lucky. That is the new way of life for the millions here in this country as they face a long and very brutal winter ahead. This war now in its 10th month.
That's Marcus Moore reporting from Kyiv. We've heard of all different kinds of lawsuits, right? Now, this is proof you have to be careful about what you put on a product label. A Florida woman is suing Kraft over mac and cheese.
Amanda Ramirez of Hialeah says the company's claim Velveeta's microwavable mac and cheese cups take a mere 3.5 minutes to make is false. She says that only accounts for the actual heating time and not the steps leading up to it, which include tearing off the lid, adding water, and stirring in the cheese sauce. If she'd known the truth, Ramirez says she never would have purchased the product in the first place. Her suit seeks $5 million, claiming deceptive and unfair trade practices.
Deborah Rodriguez with the story for us there.
Wow, a lawsuit for mac and cheese. Well, I thought I heard it all. All right, guys, thank you so much for for watching or listening to this extended version of Driving and the News. And we'll see you on the next video.